least we did something together. On the 4-track machine, everybody had his own track, and he went with us in the forest, and he looked after us, and he enjoyed what we did. And our daughter was just born. He took care of our daughter that we got more sleep, Martha and I, because Martha was breastfeeding her, and we had today to work all day. So we really got tired, and he wasn't tired at all. He was able to walk at night with our little daughter in his arms, and next day being awake. So that was very, very impressive. He went away with the tapes, and I copied the tapes before he left, because I knew that was some treasure we did together. Nobody thought about releasing it because everybody thought, oh, it's 4-track, it's bad technology, it's badly recorded because he did it such sort of very improvisational. But I kept the tapes, and once the new technology, there was a technology which was called, anyway, it was a new technology that allowed us to work on the material. And I did it without asking them, the others. And it went all very well. And when they knew about this music, they agreed to its release. First, some of it was released on a dance theater piece. It was used at the dance theater piece, which they agreed to, and then it came out equally in America and in Germany as Klasse and Eno Tracks and Traces. And then the interest increased. And meanwhile it came out 3 times with some bonus tracks. And I think it's a wonderful album, Klasse and Harmonia and Eno, Tracks and Traces.
Yeah, that was a real revelation when that finally came out. It's great.
20 years after its creation.
Yeah.
First time.
But I mean, the amazing thing, I think, about so much of the music you guys made at the time and you know, a lot of the other key German bands of that period is, you know, it really doesn't sound dated. You know, there's some musics you can really fix in time when you hear them, maybe because they have a certain guitar sound or the, you know, there's all sorts of signifiers in the music that say, oh, that's from 1972. But there's something still incredibly fresh about the music of that time. And I struggle to explain why that is. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that at all.
Can't explain why it sounds fresh. I only can say it's authentic. I think it was always authentic. We never looked after success. We just looked after doing it. And I think that's the reason why it still sounds fresh and still people love. Young generations get approached to it, and I'm really proud of it. That many people from the younger generations adore what we are doing or what we did in the past. And still what I'm doing.
There's something very wholesome about the fact it seems to have been built into that making music was kind of built into your everyday life in this place.
Yeah.
It's a kind of link to your whole experience of living, making a life in this isolated place. And the music is not separate from that.
Yeah, because it was never separated from our daily life. It was part of it. It belonged to it, and everything, every situation, we were always sort of while spaghetti cooking, going to the kitchen, from the kitchen into the studio, doing something, going back to the kitchen. It was really, it still is, more and more, even, more and more.
And so around towards the end of the 70s, then you and Möbius started to move towards doing separate solo projects again. And there seemed to be a lot of, I mean, generally the late 70s into the 80s seemed to be a time not only for you, but also a lot of the groups that had been successful in the 70s. It seemed to be a moment when things started to change and separate and find new forms, and some were more successful than others with that. But what sort of time was that for you as you moved into producing your own? You've over the years you've done this series of self-portrait albums, you've called them, which is an ongoing. I don't know how many volumes it is now. It's at least 8, isn't it?
10 or 11.
10 or 11.
I mean, it's not described as self-portrait. There's Lustwand, which is a self-portrait. There's Jardin, no, not Jardin Fou, not that, but Gift of the Moment. All these are self-portraits as well. No, it started. My solo thing started already in Forst. And we had to leave Forst because nearby at up rivers there was a broken nuclear plant and people got sick everywhere, especially children got sick on leukemia, and we really got feared and we had to leave the place. It was a reason why I split with Möbius, not really, but we had to go away from that place. But we stayed together, we came together for concerts, he moved to Berlin, but he still had his situation there. With Harmonia we broke already after 3 years, And that was, we went to Austria and are still there.
Why did you choose Austria? What was the connection with, because you live just outside Vienna now, don't you? And what took you to Austria as a place to settle?
We had to go somewhere, and her mother, my wife's mother, always kept a little place for her because she went from home also when she was young to some other places. She was in London studying English and all this, and then she was an artist as me when we met in Germany. She was a freelance artist as well. She made environmental art. So, where am I? Where's my thread? I left my thread. Austria. Yes, she had a place in Austria, and when we had to leave Germany, we went there. It was a very small place, I think 40 square meters, with water outside and toilet. And we already had one child in Forst, and then there she got the second and third child. She gave them birth at home. I was at one of our children, I was a midwife, because the midwife came too late. So we had the great privilege to give birth our kids at home. It was also something which is part of my music.
Sense of the childlike, in a way, yeah. The sense of discovery is something I feel from your music. Sense of possibilities opening up all the time.
To have all these experiences, it's an extraordinary gift to be able to live such a life, I really feel. Also my prison time was a gift somehow afterwards, because I learned so much about life itself.
Yeah, you must have learned about survival and how to come through difficult times. I mean, as you said, you've made nearly 180 albums, so we haven't really got time to discuss each of them in detail. Although I'm sure everyone here would love to go through all one by one. But I mean, you've worked also with a variety of different musicians. You've worked with Harold Budd, for example. You've worked with a whole range of younger improvising musicians from Britain, Italy, Europe, and you've reformed Cluster. Cluster seems to have come and gone, and still seems to. You've made a new Cluster, this time spelt with a Q, Cluster. You've worked recently with British singer Lloyd Cole, which was quite a surprising one.
Yeah, for me as well.
A guy who did A Perfect Skin in the 80s, which I remember well when I was a schoolboy. That was do you want to say something about that one briefly?
About Lloyd?
Yeah.
A strange guy. Great songwriter, weird guy. We played together live in Berlin 3 years ago or 2 years ago. There was a celebration of my 80th year, of my 80th birthday. So we played together, and we learned to know him. And he's such a different, nice person. Lloyd Cole and I'm working with some of the guys from the Gotan project. This mastermind, the rhythmical mastermind, Müller. And I'm working with Christopher James Chaplin together. I'm working with this guy together. I'm working with the guy you know from Oslo, your new friend. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very busy.
Yeah, you're still, you have an incredible range of ongoing stuff, and
it's challenging. They challenge me because I have to learn a lot. I have to listen to them. They are all different. They have all different approach to music, and also different approach to living. And I'm really gifted to be here on Earth.
Well, we're very lucky to have you on Earth with us. And you've been doing a US tour now, and here you are in Knoxville. What are you going to be doing during Big Ears, your concert? What can we expect?
Fortunately they have a piano for me because it's my main instrument now, and I'm playing in a church. I belong in the church somehow.
Great, yeah. Well, we'll look forward to that. And your book, can you tell us the publication details about that? So that's available, and you're planning an English version?
The plan, yeah. The first 111 pages are ready. I think in autumn it will be ready when we come back for the West Coast tour. Channel should tell it.
Yeah, the tour for the Midwest and the West Coast is already kind of creating itself just because Joachim's presence here. So there's not much for me left to do. As much as I am on stage, I'm just as useless for that as well, because his name precedes himself and his whole entire tour. So we're going to do a cross-country tour of North America and involves Canada and Mexico for September and October. So he'll be back. Come see him.
Yeah, we'll look forward to celebrating your 90th birthday in a few years. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Roedelius, as always, and thanks so much for speaking to all of us here. There's a riot starting outside, people are so excited. Good luck with the concerts and the rest of the tour, and thanks to all of you for listening. Keep an eye on the rest of the Talks programme, some really good stuff coming up in the next couple of days. Enjoy the festival. Goodbye, thanks.